Welcome to Top Shelf Men. I'm Reese. This is a follow-up to my last video, Passport Bro's Biggest Mistake. You can find a link to that video in the description below, because this video builds up upon some of the concepts introduced in that other video. Today, we will be discussing red flags to look for when dating women overseas in their home country. As I have stated before, I speak 3 languages, and I have had my fair share of long-term overseas travel. Aside from the typical red flags you'll find in the West, I noticed these other particular red flags while on my overseas travels. Now, it's no secret that Western men are more commonly leaving the West to experience cultures where men are men and women don't act like awful men while crying victim when it's convenient, like you see females do here in the feminist West. It is so common, in fact, that we now have terms like passport bros. Unfortunately, most of the guys that end up traveling overseas, they tend to bring their blue-pilled beta beliefs with them to other countries, and they keep making the same mistakes that they make with women in their Western home countries. And the reality is that foreign women have caught on to their blue-pilled ideals and have developed a certain perception of Western men based on them being betas. I have talked to a lot of foreign girls about their thoughts about Western men, and they have said similar things like, Western men seem more romantic. They're always buying girls presents and flowers. Western men, they're always praising and complimenting their girlfriend. Or I've also heard them say, Western men are more grateful to their girlfriends so they don't cheat. They are such nice guys. And that's a problem. Foreign women's idea of a Western man is that of a nice guy. The type of guy any red-pilled man would see as an obvious beta, and that's a big problem. These betas have been so brainwashed with the men and women think the same blank BS. Women are just as capable. The first girl to touch my pee-pee deserves to be my wife. These beta mentalities are so prevalent with the majority of the passport bros that even foreign women have formed their perception of Western men based on the typical Mr. Nice Guy. Unfortunately, this also leads to predatory women in foreign countries to hunt for Western men whenever they come across one. These women tend to be usually post-wall, who usually spent their youth playing the field with a lot of guys. Or women who weren't popular because they aren't considered attractive in their home country. And let's face it, the average weight of an American woman is about 170 to 180 pounds, or about 75 to 81 kilograms. Meaning that even a below average looking but thin foreign girl will be more attractive than the overall North American land whale. In a country that hasn't had its culture destroyed by the fat acceptance propaganda, and the majority of women are thin, then other beauty features are more heavily emphasized in a healthy society with women. So, in countries that don't follow clown world rules, you'll see plenty of thin, ugly ducklings hunting for her Western man to treat her like she's a 10 out of 10 just because she's thin, isn't tattooed, or an insufferable ham beast. If you're enjoying this content, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for more Top Shelf Men content. And to those of you who have subscribed, I'd like to thank you for motivating me to create more content for you guys. Alright, so that brings us back to today's topic. Red flags to look for when dating women overseas. These next red flags I will talk about are particular to these girls that are out hunting for Western men. Now look, I'm not telling you not to have fun with these types of women. But I am telling you to tread carefully, as these women can turn into a nightmare if you get into a long-term relationship with them, impregnate them, or even worse, wife one of these girls up. So red flag number 1. Girls who hang out at international bars. So overseas, wherever there are expat communities, there are international bars where foreigners hang out. These types of girls don't get any interest from the native men in their home country, so they will hang out at international bars hoping to find Westerners that are attractive enough for them to pick up. In my experience, when talking to these types of girls, they tend to quickly ask you, what kind of work do you do? To kind of gauge out to see how much money you make. They ask these types of questions to figure out if you're a high-value male or you are simply another English teacher making a low wage. You might notice that the conversation feels more like a subtle job interview, because frankly it is. These girls are run through and in their late 20s or in their 30s. And now they're looking for a Western beta to take care of them. So they don't have time to waste. They are trying to quickly see if you are worth the time investment for them. That's why they want to find out pretty much what your value is to them. Red flag number 2. They speak good English for no good reason. Being aware that their best chance for landing a high-value male is with a Western foreigner, they will go out of their way to take English classes for no particular reason. Wink, wink. There are legit reasons for learning English, such as studied overseas or their work requires it. But when there is no particular reason and they are hanging out where foreigners frequent, then you can be pretty sure their purpose for learning English is to hunt for foreign men. Red flag number 3. They hate their home country's culture. I have also encountered some of these hunters who proudly proclaim to hate the traditional culture of the country they are from. Now, if you are being a passport bro to get away from the Western cultural ideals, then you can absolutely expect these women to possess a good amount of ideals from the West. Women who hate their home country's traditional culture are indeed Western feminists in their minds. These are women who are looking to cash out with their Western beta male, and they tend to have the same habits as that of single mothers. And what do I mean by that? And what I mean by that is that they tend to follow the same pattern single mothers do to ensnare a beta. Once they deem you high value enough, they will be quick to sleep with you. Due to lack of genuine burning desire, the sex can be very vanilla or dissatisfactory, but she knows that she is likely the first half-decent looking girl to touch her pee-pee in a long time, so now she expects your devotion. Then they tend to love bomb you, like a girl with a borderline personality disorder, because now that she has slept with you, she feels that she has started her investment with you. Then they will try to monopolize your time with them for 2 reasons. First reason is that they want to move the relationship along as quickly as possible to get a marriage proposal within a few months. They don't want to waste time. And number 2, they want to make sure you don't have enough free time to potentially meet other women hunting for Western men, or, God forbid, you meet a normal girl that has no ulterior motive for sleeping with you aside from simply liking you. She finds you hot. A normal girl that simply sees you as hot and high value, who comes from a traditional culture, will understand you will be popular and will compete for you with her attractiveness, her femininity, to earn exclusivity with you. On the other hand, a roastie hunting for a Western beta will seek to control the guy she is with, as she has a goal and she constantly sees that clock ticking. So that type of woman will resort to manipulation and control because she has to guarantee commitment from you. She cannot waste time, which leads me to my final red flag. Red flag number 4. She is over the age of 30. Now, Western betas pedestalize roasties covered in tattoos, increasingly fat, and run through. I've had betas try to shame me for dating girls in their 20s. But in a normal, healthy society, women know the more they sleep around, the older they get, the less likely they can catch a high-value man to be their future husband. Also, talking to many foreign women who don't have the Western feminist programming, and these women tell me that working is fine for a little while, but in reality, they want a good husband that earns enough for them to be stay-at-home moms and have babies, have a family. Yes, outside of clown world, normal girls want to be mothers and have no interest in permanently working a 9 to 5 being permanently childless, sleeping around for the rest of their lives. Since these thoughts are prevalent in traditional societies and considered common sense, women over 30 are an even bigger red flag overseas than they are here in our home countries. I have personally seen these single women over 30 be actively ignored by men in social gatherings, and these women were pretty attractive. I have also heard stories of men straight out telling them that they're open to having fun, but would never consider anything serious with them because they're simply too old. Once these women experience enough of these types of rejections, and they see how beta Western men are, many have no choice but to become hunters. Add these to the more typical red flags like broken homes, single mothers, shady pasts, former sex worker, and have fun, but never consider anything serious with these women. You're never going to be happy. At the end of the day, if you aren't sure your foreign girlfriend is looking to take advantage of you, then shit test her. Tell her you have no intention of getting her a green card. But then there are also the types of hunter that are perfectly happy keeping you miserable in their home country. So, tread carefully, guys. And thank you for listening to the end. So what have your experiences been as a passport bro? And please, don't tell me you are in a long-distance relationship. A long-distance relationship is the adult version of having an imaginary friend. So please, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff to help red pill more men. This is Reese. See you next video, guys. Peace.